So do you recognize these faces? Of course you do. Well, if you don't, then that's okay because it's all about the brow shapes and the facial shape. So some of you have asked me, what brow shape should I have for my facial shape? I'm going to touch on some of these faces as well as maybe some of the products that you're interested in trying out, learning, or you want something a little different, right? So if this is you, then you need to stick around and check out what is the best shape brow for your shape face. So today is going to be all about brow shapes and facial shapes. How should you shape your brows with the type of facial shape you have? Say that 10 times. But I also want to take a quick moment in thanking all the servicemen and women in serving us, serving this country. It's Memorial Weekend, so it is my pleasure in thanking all of you. Hope you're with your family, friends, enjoying your time off, but not so much where you're not on this video. I know that you're going to pick up some tips and tricks, maybe some trips that you're on right now. I have been shaping eyebrows for almost over 25 years now at the Anastasia Beverly Hills, which, by the way, I am still shaping brows there. So you need to come by, get your brows shaped, and some of you have. It's been a pleasure meeting you, and thank you for trusting me with your eyebrows. Everything will be mentioned in the descriptions. Tap the screen if you want to purchase any of the products that I do mention. They will be tagged. So even though you don't feel like you relate with these famous faces, I know I don't. I know that you're going to pick up some tips and definitely share this with anyone that you know can't use some of these tips. My brows have been tattooed a long time ago, so that's why I'm able to put some concealer and show you how I'm holding the product. So that's important along with seeing the model. You guys ready? Let's get into it. Okay, so this facial shape is considered an oblong facial shape. I found a lot of these famous faces, whereas whoever they are circled this face and named it as, or called it oblong. Now, I think because of the brows, one side is a little bit lower than the other, and the end, as you can see right here, it drags down, which makes the face look a little bit more dragging down, where it's more narrow, and the other side is a little bit too thin and round. So you want to fill that area in. So as you can see on the after, that lower side here is filled in. And above here, I'm not going to do too much because I got other faces I want to show you. It's mainly above, but really the most important area is out here. If you fill outside here, as you can see on the after brow, you can see how much of a difference it makes, right? It's more lifted. The ends aren't as long. I mean, I'm going to use my other eyebrow. It's not too long here because as you can see right here on my brow, it's long and it can just kind of like do this, right? So you still need an end. But you don't need it that long, as you can see on the before compared to the one that's after. So if that is your eyebrow, you may want to give it a little lift by shortening the ends and applying color more on the outside. So this one is more of a square face. I think I consider myself a little bit more on the square. You know, Asians are a little bit more square, even though, I mean, obviously we're all a little different here, but more square. And on the top, you can see it's real flat, right? Right here, this eyebrow is so much more flat than the other side. So what do you do? Well, the after, what I really just mainly did is apply color above the eyebrows, just right up here to raise the eyebrows. Very important. And the other important thing with this eyebrow is that I used a highlighter underneath just to kind of add that extra lift. Now her eyebrow bone right up here in the forehead is a little bit on the lower side. She's got a slightly on the larger forehead. So that's partly why the brows are, I think, a little bit lower. But if that's you, all you need to do is just try to add some color above that same shape brow, which is what I did for her. And it makes a huge difference. Now this one, again, more of a square face. I'm a little bit more square. Now this before brow is actually, it works because, you know, they're all pretty, so it works. It doesn't matter, right? But just a little tweak. Now you can see the corner here, right up here. It's very sharp. Now, when you have a square, more of a square face, you want the brows to be obviously fuller, but raise that area up again. Like right here, you want to raise it. And by raising it, you don't have it so low again, and you don't have the corner being so sharp. You don't want the arch to be that sharp because it doesn't fit the face, right? So when you have a wider face or more square up here, you want it to be raised up high here, but the arch shouldn't be so sharp because it doesn't fit the face. It's the best way to say it, really. But if you do have a sharp arch and your face is a little bit wider, apply some color up here right below before that sharp arch, and then apply some color outside. Again, the common theme, most of the focus is above the brow line. This is what I did on her eyebrows. All of these eyebrows are digitally done, so you guys need to get on jasminesarch.com to know how I digitally did this, right? So that's, you can find all the details there. But here now, again, oblong, we're back to oblong. I think it's more on the narrow long side. That's a better way to say it, right? But beautiful full eyebrows. The front of the eyebrows is full. I want you to see that the rest of the eyebrows is really thin, but her face is very narrow. And as you can see with those thin eyebrows doing this, it just narrows the face even all the more. It takes away from that lift. So you can see right here with the white outline, I added a lot of color up here. So right up here, I added color because she had a lot of hair up here in the front. And then, of course, it flattened the rest of the eyebrows. So by adding color, again, common theme, it's above the brow line. Here's her brows here, and then I just added color up there. So again, you're gonna have to excuse my eyebrows are gonna look really crazy. But yeah, so I'm using the brush because the brush is gonna allow me to just not disturb the concealer too much. But brush and powder is great if you have full set of eyebrows and you just wanna darken it. Great thing to use. Pencils are great too, and I'll show you in just a second. So narrow face, the ends should be a little shorter. Can you see that the after her ends are a tiny bit shorter compared to what it was before? It again adds that extra lift. She still has an end, but it's full of rest of the eyebrow. It's all about balance for this one. Diamond. They categorize this facial shape as diamond. We all want to have a diamond face, maybe. No, maybe not. Maybe just the ring. But the front of the eyebrow is very low. Now, I raised this eyebrow up a little bit earlier, but if I just add a color down here, like concealer, it's very low. Her brow bone, the forehead is very strong. Her eyes are actually deeper set in. So that ski slope, I often call it. All I did with this one, it's a very tiny adjustment. You can see from the before and after, not a lot of adjustment here, but if you have eyebrows that go low in the front and you add some color right up here, just right up in the front area, which is what I did for her, it makes a huge difference. So when you have small face, a diamond face, you want, again, lift because the forehead's a little strong. You want still full eyebrows, right? Because it works. You can see her brows are a little bit on the fuller side. So up in the front. Okay, this is a little bit more categorized as a triangular because right in the jawline right here is very sharp. And then her chin comes down a little bit low here. Now her forehead is a little bit on the wider side, which is why I think they labeled this as triangular. Pretty face, of course, pretty eyebrows, but it's just a little bit on the thinner side. So what I did was mainly focus, what did I do? Is at the top of the eyebrows. Again, common theme, above the brows. Everything is really above the brows, I believe. Unless you really have thin eyebrows that are really up here, you want to go low. But in these cases, it's above. And up here, all I did was follow her natural shape, just natural shape. But I just went above and I went all the way around. Not changing too much, just puffed it out a tiny bit. I love that word. I've been using that a lot lately, puffing it up. And that's really it. And I say puffing it because you're not making a new shape. You're just following what you have and you're just raising it up, out, and out here again. So it's all like just raising it and going around the eyebrows. Very important. She does have a tiny bit of a ski slope up in the front. So again, you want to raise that up. And that's really important when you have more of a triangular top area. This face, again, beautiful. It's more on the round side. Now, I think with Asians, we're a little bit more square / round. And beautiful eyebrows. Now, also the digital brow is a little bit on the darker side, but it's good because you can really see the shape. The corners are a little bit sharper. you can see just to kind of, I mean, the curved round brow look, I actually really love. But when your face is wider or more round, you don't want to make the brows so curved. You actually want to put a little bit of a sharp corner there, like I'm showing you in this white outline. Now, the after is, it works, right? There is a little corner. You can see a little bit of that corner, but it's not really exaggerated that much. Just a tiny bit made a huge difference. And so it's really, the idea is to give yourself a little bit of a corner arch, but also there's going to be that balance. It's still curved. It's not so sharp and angular and harsh. There's still that fullness, which is also very important. And again, common theme, above that area, I just went up higher in the arch and still curved it. So above, 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 above the brow line. And I think you hear me say that with all the other videos. Okay, Asian face, pretty, very young, but we have that flat eyelid, right? And so most of our eyebrows tend to grow up a little bit high up here and not enough on the bottom. So if you're Asian, you're watching this, don't tweeze so much underneath. You're gonna look more wide-eyed. So straighter brows are the better look because our face are, especially the cheekbones come out a little bit. So you need to balance. If you have tiny, skinny little eyebrows with the cheekbones out, it just doesn't balance, right? And so I did these straight lines straight up because above is the most important thing because you want to go straight. You don't want to dip too low. You can see on the after, it's just a tiny bit of an adjustment, not that much. So just straight up here, I realize my brows are looking even crazier as the video is ending. But underneath, I didn't point this out, but underneath needs to stay square or straight. It's not straight this way, but it's straight in an angle. Keep that in mind. If you don't want to open this area up because again, our eyelids is flat, right? It's mono. So it's most attractive when this area is really straight. You could curve it a tiny bit and you still need an end. We need an end, but you don't want to drag the end down. You certainly want to keep the end out, not down. Okay. So yeah, there you go. A little messy here, but perfect brow, just a little tweaked. So I'm going to take a little moment to just quickly tell you guys that I'm only going to just highlight 3 colors. Right now, I'm highlighting the pencils because the pencils are the easiest to start learning how to fill in your eyebrows. Not only have some of you guys have asked me what type of brow shape for my facial, it's also what color. I'm touching the 3 most popular colors. Now the pencils, again, like I said, is the easiest because you have so much more control. I always like to tell my clients and all of you guys to hold the pencil laying down, above, and sideways. Never head on like you're poking your eyebrow. That applies more pressure, it gets too dark, and always try to start in the middle and the end of the eyebrows. Now these pencils, I have one called soft brown. I'm using this white paper because my skin, see that soft brown there? My skin is obviously much darker, so it's harder to see that color. Now, if you are in this, if you are this color, this color brow, this model, I would suggest something like a soft brown because it has a little bit more of a warm tone. Now, a lot of you guys that are more on the blonde side, the taupe works the best. You see that? It has that universal blonde, warm blonde color, but it's more on the, not warm, more on the ashy, which is a lot of you guys that get blonde highlights, you want it more on the ashier side. Okay, and then for me, I can do a pencil called medium brown. Now, medium brown is, I would say, very universal. Asian faces like this right here. If you don't have any highlights in your hair, you're definitely more of a darker brown color like this Asian hair, then you want to go with something like medium brown or ash brown. Again, ash means there's no warm tones, right? So it just picks up more true to the root of your brows. But if you are this color and you want it even darker, you do dark brown. So I hope this helps. Try it out and let me know if these colors did help. I will get more into different types of color in another video, but this one is all about the shape, right? So what did you think? Did this help you? Do you like this video? Please give me a like if you did like this video and subscribe if you haven't done so already, because all of that helps me. And so I use this to obviously continue to bring out content, but the comments helps because I want to get better at serving all of you out there. And I hope that this did help because some of you guys that have asked me, I can't speak right now. Some of you, I can't, it's hard for me to speak sometimes. I don't know why that is. I think someone told me I talk too much. Maybe that's it. I speak or talk too much. That's why I'm mumbling here. So yeah, I do appreciate those likes and comments. I do try to get better content, and I do try to listen to all of you guys in like certain types of models, but I can only get the kind of models that will consent for me using them. In this case, it's different because they're all public figures, and I just screenshot their photos. So that's one thing I forgot to ask you to forgive me for not the photos aren't as clear as I would like. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you again for your service. And yeah, I will see you guys right back here.